It's a country smaller than El Salvador, yet it holds centuries of history, millions of beliefs, and far too many scars. Israel. For some, the promised land. For others, a land taken. In its streets, the sacred and the modern crash like runaway trains. On its walls, prayers are written and bullets are fired. This is not just a country, it's a symbol, a battlefield, and perhaps a warning. The modern story of Israel begins with a tragedy that shocked the world, the Holocaust. After World War II, Jewish survivors cried out for refuge, a home, a land they could call their own. In 1947, the United Nations approved a plan to divide Palestine, then under British control, into two states, one Arab and one Jewish. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion declared the birth of the State of Israel. The next day, 5 Arab nations declared war. Israel survived and won. But hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were displaced, becoming refugees. The seed of conflict had been planted, and its roots would grow for decades. Jerusalem is not just a city. It is a spiritual map where 3 ancient religions converge. For Jews, it is home to Solomon's temple, the holiest place. For Christians, it is where Jesus Christ died and rose again. For Muslims, it is where Muhammad ascended to heaven. Every stone, every alley, every wall is a symbol and a frontier. At the Western Wall, Jewish worshippers place prayers in the cracks of history. On the Temple Mount, Muslims pray facing Mecca, on the very ground where the Jewish temple once stood, and Christian pilgrims walk the stations of the Via Dolorosa in silence filled with devotion. But this city is not only sacred, it is also divided. Religious, cultural, and political tensions make Jerusalem a permanent epicenter of disputes. In the same place where prophets spoke of peace, walls of concrete and surveillance now rise. While the world watches Israel for its history and its conflict, within the country, a quiet revolution is underway. Innovation. Israel is known as the startup nation. It has more startups per capita than any other country. In Tel Aviv, skyscrapers don't just touch the sky, they feed the cloud. Cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, advanced medicine, Israel creates without rest. With almost no natural resources, it turned desert into fertile land through drip irrigation technology. And even under constant threat, its society moves forward, balancing modernity and tradition. Young people dance in nightclubs by the beach, while soldiers walk the streets with rifles slung over their shoulders. One person can be a drone engineer and also observe the Sabbath with devotion. Israel is a country that lives fast, as if it knows time can run out at any moment. But not everything is progress. In the occupied territories, time seems frozen. Gaza lives under blockade. 2 million Palestinians survive among ruins, shortages, and power cuts. Israel argues security. Palestine cries suffocation. In the West Bank, Israeli settlers expand their communities while Palestinians watch their lands disappear. The separation wall, over 700 kilometers long, rises as both a physical and symbolic scar. And when tension erupts, rockets fall. The Iron Dome intercepts missiles from Gaza. Israel responds with bombings, and caught in the middle, civilians, children, hospitals. The conflict isn't just territorial. It's about identity, religion, ideology, and despite peace attempts and agreements, the wounds remain open. Where does self-defense begin? Where does occupation end? Who has the right to this land? No one seems to have answers, but everyone has pain. Today, Israel faces both internal and external challenges. The Iranian threat, armed groups like Hezbollah, the ongoing tension with Hamas, and its own internal divisions. Ultra-Orthodox Jews versus secular citizens, nationalists versus pacifists, African, Russian, Ethiopian, European Jews, all in one land, all seeking identity. Meanwhile, young generations in Tel Aviv want to look forward, to build, to live, to create. Is it possible to reconcile the past with the future? Can a nation, born of pain, bring peace to others? Israel is not just a country. It is an open question, a promise still unfulfilled, a land where every stone has a name, where the sky is filled with prayers, and also with smoke, where conflict feels eternal. But hope somehow persists. Perhaps, one day, this land will no longer be divided, and it will become, at last, a land shared.